Before going to this topic of radical axis, let's look at a concept that we have seen before, power of a point. If you remember, if I have a point P and a circle C, then the power of the point of P with respect to this circle, we defined it as Cp square minus r square, where r is the radius of the circle. And if you remember, if the equation to the circle is s equal to 0 and if the point is x1 comma y1, when we calculated Cp square minus r square, it came out as s11. We by hearted that as a formula. So the power of the point P x1 comma y1 with respect to the circle s equal to 0 is nothing but s11. Okay. Now after recollecting this, let's go to the definition of radical axis. You see, to define radical axis, first of all, you need two non-concentric circles not having the same center. Suppose I have two non-concentric circles s equal to 0 and s dash equal to 0. Radical axis of these two circles is defined as the locus of the point P, the powers of which with respect to the circles s equal to 0 comma s dash equal to 0 are equal. That means the power of the point P with respect to s equal to 0 and the power of the point P with respect to s dash equal to 0 are the same. Now if I take P as x1 comma y1, then we know that power of P with respect to s equal to 0 is nothing but s11, and the power of P with respect to s dash equal to 0 is nothing but s dash 11. What does it mean? It means that it is x1 square plus y1 square plus 2gx1 plus 2fy1 plus c is equal to x1 square plus y1 square plus 2g dash x1 plus 2f dash y1 plus c dash. So cancelling the terms that I can cancel on both the sides and writing everything one side, I'll get 2 times g minus g dash into x1 plus 2 times f minus f dash into y1 plus c minus c dash equal to 0. Therefore, locus of P is nothing but 2 into g minus g dash into x plus 2 into f minus f dash into y plus c minus c dash equal to 0. Now you can see that this is nothing but s minus s dash equal to 0. Therefore, equation to the radical axis of two circles s equal to 0 and s dash equal to 0 is nothing but s minus s dash is equal to 0. And don't forget, when you want to talk about radical axis, the circles should be non-concentric circles. Okay, so we saw the definition of radical axis and also the equation to the radical axis. Now we already saw that this equation s minus s dash equal to 0 is perpendicular to line joining the centers. It's perpendicular to line joining the centers. Therefore, radical axis is perpendicular to line joining the centers of the circles. And more we have observed actually. We know that s minus s dash equal to 0 is the common chord of the circles. Common chord of the circles s equal to 0 and s dash equal to 0 when they are intersecting. Therefore, radical axis becomes the common chord when the circles are intersecting. Also, we saw that if the circles are touching each other, then it becomes the common tangent at the common point. The circles, they may touch like that externally, or they may touch like this internally. If this is equal to 0 and this is s dash equal to 0, then we know that this common tangent is nothing but s minus s dash equal to 0. And here also it is nothing but s minus s dash equal to 0. But now we see that this is nothing but their radical axis. Therefore, if the circles are touching, then the radical axis coincides with the common tangent at the common point. Whether they are touching externally or touching internally, it is nothing but common tangent at the common point. Understood? You see, common chord and common tangent are there only when circles intersect or circles touch. Here common chord and here common tangent. But radical axis is there even if the circles are not intersecting, like this, or they can be like this. The only thing I want is circles should not be concentric. As long as circles are not concentric, radical axis is defined, and the equation to the radical axis of the circles s equal to 0 and s dash equal to 0 is s minus s dash is equal to 0. And if the circles are intersecting, it becomes the common chord. If they are touching, it becomes the common tangent at the common point. And radical axis is perpendicular to line joining the centers. Okay, let's go to next point. See, here we have a theorem which says that suppose I have a circle s dash is equal to 0 and another circle s double dash is equal to 0. Now I have a third circle intersecting these two circles orthogonally. Suppose this third circle is s equal to 0. This is intersecting both this circle and this circle orthogonally. Then we are going to prove that the center of this circle lies on the radical axis of these two circles. Suppose this is the radical axis of these two circles. Then the center of the circle s equal to 0 lies on the radical axis of these two circles. That's what we are going to prove, these two circles. Okay, let's see that. Very simple one. You see, we know that this center is nothing but minus g comma minus f. Okay, now the radical axis of s dash equal to 0 and s double dash equal to 0 is nothing but s dash minus s double dash is equal to 0. What is this? 2 into g dash minus g double dash of x plus 2 into f dash minus f double dash of y plus c dash minus c double dash is equal to 0. Now I am going to prove that this satisfies the point minus g comma minus f. Means it passes through center of the circle s equal to 0. That's what I am going to prove. So to prove that it satisfies minus g comma minus f, what should I prove? 2 into g dash minus g double dash into minus g plus 2 into f dash minus f double dash into minus f plus c dash minus c double dash equal to 0. I have to prove, that is required to prove. So if I prove this, the theorem will be over. So let us see the hypothesis. He said that s equal to 0 intersects s dash equal to 0 orthogonally. We know the condition. 2g g dash plus 2f f dash is equal to c plus c dash. Similarly, s equal to 0 is intersecting orthogonally the circle s double dash equal to 0. So you get 2g g double dash plus 2f f double dash is equal to c plus c double dash. Now subtract one from the other. You will get 2g into g dash minus g double dash plus 2f into f dash minus f double dash is equal to c dash minus c double dash. Now you bring everything to right hand side, then you can see that whatever you get is nothing but this only. Hence proved. One more interesting point to observe is, suppose I have two circles s equal to 0 and s dash is equal to 0. Okay. non-concentric circles, so I can talk about radical axis of the two circles. Suppose that is the radical axis of two circles. We know that it is perpendicular to line joining the centers. Now, what is the definition of radical axis? It is locus of the points such that the power of that point with respect to both the circles is the same. That means if this point is x1, y1, the power of this point with respect to s equal to 0 is s11, and the power of this with respect to s dash equal to 0 is s dash 11. Now these two powers are equal. Now observe that these powers are equal means their square roots are the same. I can talk about square root because in this case the point is lying outside the circles. Okay, so root s11 is positive, so I can talk about it. Now we know that root s11 is nothing but length of the tangent from the point to this circle s is equal to 0, and root s dash 11 is also length of the tangent from the point to the circle s dash is equal to 0. Now as these two are equal, that means the lengths of the tangents are equal. So moral of the story is, if it is possible to draw tangents from any point on the radical axis to the circles, then the lengths of the tangents from that point to both the circles, they are the same. Okay. Now let us see this concept, radical center. To talk about this concept, radical center, I need three circles. To talk about radical axis, I need two circles which are not concentric. To talk about radical center, I not only need three circles, but I want their centers to be non-collinear. The center should not lie on the same line. Like that, I want three circles. I don't care whether the circles are intersecting or disjoint, or two are intersecting, one is disjoint from them. I don't care about them. I just need three circles such that centers are non-collinear. Okay, so if the centers are non-collinear, suppose the circles are s equal to 0, s dash is equal to 0. I can take one more intersecting these two, it doesn't matter. Say this is s double dash equal to 0. Then it can be proved that this radical axis of s equal to 0 and s double dash equal to 0, this radical axis of s dash equal to 0 and s double dash equal to 0, and the radical axis of the circles s equal to 0 and s dash equal to 0, they are going to be concurrent, and this point of concurrency is called radical center. That is called radical center. Given three circles such that centers are non-collinear, the radical axes of those circles taken in pairs are concurrent. That point of concurrency is called radical center. You see, if anybody is wondering why should I believe, this is the story. We know that this radical axis is nothing but double dash minus s equal to 0. If you doesn't matter. And this radical axis of these two circles, this equation is nothing but s minus s dash equal to 0. And this equation is nothing but s dash minus s double dash is equal to 0. Now I have equations of all the three radical axes. Okay. Now, if you remember, we did one theorem in straight lines in first year. It says that if you have three lines, L1 equal to 0 and L2 equal to 0 and L3 equal to 0, such that no two of them are parallel, and constants lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 such that not all 0, and such that lambda 1 L1 plus lambda 2 L2 plus lambda 3 L3 is equal to 0, then we can conclude that the lines are concurrent. Okay, so using that concept, I want you to observe that here the line equations s minus s dash equal to 0, s dash minus s double dash equal to 0, S double dash minus S equal to 0 are the line equations. Now I am going to choose lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 as any three non-zero real numbers you want. Not everyone is non-zero, but three real numbers such that not all 0. Here I take all the 3 as 1s. So 1 into S minus S dash, this is L1, plus 1 into, I am taking this as L2, S dash minus S double dash, plus 1 into S double dash minus S. You can see that if I simplify this, then the things get cancelled like that, and ultimately I am getting it as 0. So this relation is maintained here. That means the three lines are concurrent, and the point of concurrency is called radical center. One more interesting point to observe is, suppose the circles, the three circles we are taking are not intersecting. Means no two are intersecting. Suppose the circles are like this. Then suppose this is the radical axis of these two circles, this and this, and suppose this is the radical axis of these two circles, okay, and this is the radical axis of these two circles. Now we know that if it is radical axis, and from the point on the radical axis if we can draw tangents, then the lengths of the tangents are the same. To these two circles if I draw, the lengths are the same. Similarly, if I take a point here, then to these two circles if I draw tangents, then they are also the same. Okay, similarly from a point over here to this circle and this circle. Now observe that this point is such a point that it lies on the three radical axes. Therefore, if you draw tangents from this circle to this circle and to this circle and to this circle, they are all the same. So from the radical center, if it is possible to draw tangents to the circles, then all the lengths are the same. Okay, this is the last concept. I want you to observe that here, this is how the statement is there in your textbook. This part is given in the textbook. Actually, I don't like to take the statement like this. I would like to take the statement as without this part. That means if three circles whose centers are non-collinear, then the circle having radical center as the center and length of the tangent to any of the circles from the radical center as radius intersects all the three circles orthogonally. Okay, let us prove the statement. You see, this is what we are going to do. We have three circles and no two are intersecting. Okay, now we go for radical axis of these two circles, radical axis of these two circles, and radical axis of these two circles. We have radical center. Now we know that from this, if we draw tangent to any one of these circles, the length will be the same. That means from here to this circle, if I get 5 as the length, from here to this circle or the other circle, I'll get the length as 5 only. So if you take a fourth circle having radical center as the center and radius as length of the tangent, if you consider one more fourth circle like this, then we are going to prove that this fourth circle is going to intersect the three given circles orthogonally. Okay, so to prove that, this is how we start. You choose a coordinate system such that this is the origin, and suppose in that coordinate system this is s equal to 0, this is s dash equal to 0, this is s double dash is equal to 0. Okay, now what will be the length of the tangent now? It will be root c, root s11. When I write root s11 for this, we know that we get root c only. Now we know that length of the tangent from here to this circle is also the same root c, but you can see that if I apply root s11 to this circle, I'll have it as root c dash. It means that root c is equal to root c dash. Similarly, that will be equal to root c double dash, and this is going to be radius of fourth circle. Radius of fourth circle. So from this I can conclude that squaring throughout, c is equal to c dash is equal to c double dash. Now what should I prove? That the fourth circle intersects these three circles orthogonally. Let us do one after the other. Let me take fourth circle equation. As it is having center at the origin, its equation will be x square plus y square is equal to radius we call root c square. So I am getting fourth circle equation as x square plus y square minus c is equal to 0. And this circle equation is x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. So are they intersecting orthogonally? Let us apply the condition. 2g g dash plus 2f f dash should be equal to c plus c dash. C plus c dash is minus c. So you are getting 0 equal to 0. Therefore, it intersects this circle orthogonally. Similarly, you can show that this fourth circle intersects the other two also orthogonally, simply verifying the condition. In the process, don't forget that c is same as c dash is same as c double dash. You will get it very obviously. Okay.